From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, January 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.18 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,318 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $52, and the average price of Bitcoin is $15,998. Antiwar.com reports the rebel-held enclave of eastern Ghouta, just east of the Syrian capital city of Damascus, continues to be a very dangerous place for civilians, with a flurry of airstrikes against the area killing at least 30 civilians early Thursday morning. 4 bombs hit 2 buildings in a residential area, and the civilians were within. The Syrian state media reported an operation in eastern Ghouta was ongoing, intended to break the siege of a military site nearby, though it's not clear if the airstrikes were related. It's also not clear whose airstrikes they were, as initial reports said the warplanes belonged to the Syrian military. Later reports quoted monitors as saying the planes belonged to the Russian military. Either way, such strikes are alarmingly common in eastern Ghouta, even as deals have been reached to evacuate substantial parts of the enclave. Rebels remain dug in parts of it, and civilians remain trapped on the front lines for the foreseeable future.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
UPI reports Southwest Airlines announced this week that it will pay $15 million to settle a lawsuit that alleged the Dallas-based company engaged in price collusion with other airlines. Southwest was hit with a lawsuit in 2015 on behalf of several passengers that alleged the company colluded with Delta, United, and American Airlines to keep prices artificially high. Southwest denied any wrongdoing. Southwest spokesman Brad Hawkins said, "We did not enter into any unlawful agreements with other airlines against which we compete vigorously, and this settlement does not constitute any admission of wrongdoing. We're entering into this settlement to avoid considerable distraction and expense of protracted class action litigation. Although the settlement was approved by a federal judge, plaintiffs will have a chance to accept or deny the agreement." Delta said, "The simple fact is that Delta has not engaged in any illegal behavior." The lawsuit filed against the 4 airlines accused them of controlling 80% of the domestic air travel market over the past 10 years and colluding with each other to keep prices high. One of the complaints included in the class action lawsuit stated, during that period, they have eliminated unprofitable flights, filled a higher percentage of seats on planes, and made a very public effort to slow growth in order to command higher airfares.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Justice on Thursday rescinded the Obama administration policy that had eased enforcement of federal cannabis laws in states that legalized the substance, instead giving federal prosecutors wide latitude to pursue criminal charges. The action by Attorney General Jeff Sessions could have damaging consequences for the burgeoning cannabis industry in the 6 states, including California and Colorado, that have legalized the substance for recreational use, plus dozens of other states that permit it for medical purposes. DOJ officials declined to state whether they might take legal action against those states, saying further steps were still under consideration. Federal law still prohibits cannabis, even as some states have moved to legalize it. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders said President Donald Trump's top priority was enforcing federal laws, whether it's marijuana or immigration. The policy change, detailed in a 1-page memo by Sessions to federal prosecutors nationwide, came 3 days after California formally launched the world's largest regulated commercial market for recreational cannabis. The move raised questions about how it might impact tax revenues in states that permit some form of legal cannabis use, and created uncertainty for banks already fearful about business relationships with the cannabis industry because of concerns they might run afoul of anti-money laundering rules. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.